Hello, it is Thursday, February 10th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Thursday puzzle, so a tricky one today, quite possibly an interesting theme, I imagine. I always look forward to the Thursday puzzle, I have to say. I didn't used to. I used to fear the Thursday puzzle. I enjoy it now. We'll see what we have in store today. This, I don't know, possibly fearful edition of the Daily Solve is brought to you by Bradley Pirtle, Trash Snack, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you so much to the three of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. If you'd like to join their ranks and get that Let's Check the Crosses mug on the Patreon, as well as this recognition, of course, you can do that at dailysolve.com/Patreon. No, other way around. Patreon.com/dailysolve. And the link is in the description field underneath the video, where you can also find a link to the Daily Solve Discord chat server, to which you will receive a bit of extra access if you are a Patreon subscriber. And thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon at any level at any time. I do really appreciate it. It helps make this series sustainable for me. So that is hugely meaningful. Thank you. And do remain till the end of the video if you'd like to see some comments on yesterday's puzzle. I guess sea creature misnomer theme, a really interesting puzzle. But today, of course, we're going to solve the Thursday New York Times crossword. This was constructed by August Miller, who's another debut constructor to the New York Times, first ever submission accepted, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So I'm very curious to see what sort of thematic, wackiness we have in store today. Let's find out. Let's get started. Okay, sharp bend. It could be something like an S curve or an L curve. That's sort of a wild guess. So let's check the crosses. Destined for failure. What does that mean? This must be something with the theme. Fancy. Could be could be ooh la la without the H. I don't know. I would expect that to be OOHLLAILA. Maybe I'll just delete this and come back to it. Yeah. Let's come back to that. Tipping point. Tipping point. The question mark indicates some kind of pun or wordplay. It could mean the point in a restaurant meal at which you tip. I'm not sure. Tipping point. Or it could be the purpose of tipping. It could mean that as well. I'm assuming it doesn't mean tipping point as in the point of no return, because that would be the surface reading, and we have this question mark that indicates we shouldn't be interpreting it that way. But I'm not sure specifically what it means. It could also mean tipping point in literally physically, a physical point over which something tips. Like a fulcrum or something? I'm not sure. Intro course. Another question mark. Intro course. Boy, I don't know. Fancy heap praise on. Home of the Boston Mountains. Polite Spanish accent. Si senor, maybe? Or si senora? Maybe. Let's see if we can do anything with these crosses. This seems reasonably plausible. Word after bad or hard. Oh, it could be ass, actually. A little bit racy for the New York Times crossword, but it seems like it fits. So tipping point. Does that help? I'm not sure. Let's check some more of these crosses. Certain martial arts takedown. I'm not sure offhand. And what about this? Proportionate size for some model trains. Well, it will be a scale. So this will refer to the scale of the model train relative to its, original counterpart. So I don't know, 1 to 30 or something. I don't remember what the scales are. I think H scale is maybe one of them, or HO, or their G scale. I'm not sure. What is this? It's a lot to carry, an onus. The onus is on your shoulder. The burden of proof is on your shoulder. It's a lot to carry. A benefit. Well, it could be a benefit or it could be to benefit. And here we have really hope. Oh, by the way, it does look like Si Siorna is fairly plausible. That onus and scale make that seem all right to me. So really hope could be pray. And just the worst in slang. Just the worst. What is that? Intro course. Oh, it could be an appetizer. So that's quite well clued, actually. So intro course as in a first course or an early course in a meal. And then intro is an abbreviation. Well, it's a contracted form of introduction, obviously. And so app is a contracted form of appetizer. So it maps well. And also, those are both cases where the contracted version of the word has become a word in its own right. So they match fairly closely in that regard. And what is this? Oh, trendy brunch order. Avocado toast, maybe. Oh, but it doesn't fit. Interesting. I'm wondering if there's something going on with the theme or if this is just nothing. Oh, what was that? Destine? Yeah, Destine for failure. What does that mean? I can't figure out if that's also theme related or not. But I don't know how that would relate to this if this were... So I was wondering, is there another avocado trendy brunch order that isn't avocado toast? Because if it's avocado toast, I'll need to put letters in a rebus or something else will have to happen. It'll have to sort of bend around somewhere else or something like that. That doesn't look likely. I was wondering if maybe the toast could go like this. It could sort of bend around, but then make a pick would be TSA, and that doesn't really look like anything. So I don't think that's right. I think I'm just flailing. Need to find a better way to attract this. Just the worst in slang. And women's soccer and gymnastics powerhouse. I think the USA is actually a women's soccer powerhouse. And gymnastics as well, so it sounds pretty plausible. In, the World Cup and the Olympics, respectively, I suppose. Probably I'm sure other competitions as well. Blank monkey. Oh, rhesus monkey. Right. I recognize that. You was helpful in getting that. And then heap praise on. Oh, gush over. I see. You could gush over that crossword on Sunday, that 2 sci-fi film franchise theme in the crossword. We should heap praise on that crossword. It was quite impressive. Certain martial arts takedown. I don't know. Oh, tipping point, the bar. I see, the point where one tips, the bar. You would tip your bartender. All right, and then does that help me here? Certain martial arts takedown. I don't know. I don't immediately see it, unfortunately. Pricing word could be each. You could price something for a certain amount each. What is this? Certain martial arts takedown. I just have no idea what this is. I hope it makes sense with crosses. Otherwise, I'm worried I did something wrong somewhere. Online status. I don't know. Available or... I'm not sure what that is. I wonder if each is wrong. Maybe that's wrong and that's also making this look even stranger. Treatment plants, question mark. So quite a lot of punning in this puzzle. I mean, even aside from whatever the theme is, which I've yet to discover, we do have quite a few of the question marks, the pun indicators. And this would be, aloes. No. What am I doing? Aloes. There we go. Plant used for treatment, the soothing effects of the aloe plant, the official plant of the New York Times crossword. I suppose acai is the other co-official plant of the New York Times crossword. I think aloe is a longer standing such plant in the crossword. Online status. Oh, away, of course. Sorry. You could be away from your computer, for instance. Trees sacred to Hecate or Kate, use Hecate. A yew tree. And what is this? I'm still confused about this clue. Certain martial arts takedown. Sorry about this. What is this? Pricing word. It really seems like it must be each, doesn't it? The time for diplomacy is past. It's war. Certain martial arts takedown. Oh, some kind of throw. What is going on here? I can't tell if I should be wondering if this is part of the theme or if I'm just really on the wrong track. What is this? Benefit. It could be a perk. For instance, a perk that comes with your job, a benefit at work. Just the worst in slang. I guess it could be sucky. Wow, I don't like saying that. That's a weird. It doesn't have a great. Doesn't roll off the tongue in a way that I enjoy. Trendy brunch order. It really looks like avocado. So there's something going on, and I can't figure out what it is. Certain martial arts takedown. There's something clever here, and it's more clever than I am, I think, is what I've determined. Elements number 7, 8, 9, and 10, e.g. Are they all gases? That seems plausible. Sharp Bend, fancy, home of the Boston Mountains. I wonder if that's a U.S. state, maybe. I'm not sure. Online fad. A meme, maybe. I don't know that I would... Not really an accurate definition, so this might be wrong. I might be on the wrong track, but I'm wondering if that could be the answer. Destined for failure. What does that mean? Oh, trickle could be ooze, actually. Oh, home of the Boston Mountains, the Ozarks. There we go. That looks more likely. Okay, does that help at all? Game measured by its number of points. Game measured by its number of points. What does that mean? What does it mean for a game to be measured by its number of points? I'm probably overcomplicating this, would be my guess. Here we have Southern Border City in a Larry McMurtry title. I don't know. I don't think I'm familiar with Larry McMurtry, a novelist, presumably. Here we have rock genre for Roxy Music. Glam rock, I would think. And Sharp Bend. Oh, a zigzag, maybe. Now this is strange. Here we have another sort of, is it notable, is it meaningful that when I put this in zigzag, it puts an I here. And I really want this to be a different letter. And it might just be a total coincidence, but similarly, this across clue puts an I in C, Siorna, and that's also feels like the wrong letter here. I kind of want this to be a T so it could be throw. But we did actually have maybe I'm predisposed to think this way. I mean, we did have a crossword last week in which I's became T's because we had to cross the T's, put the horizontal stroke through the I to create a T. That would create a T in one case, but not in this one. But I mean, obviously, I wouldn't expect the theme to be the same. So I'm not saying that I think that's what is happening here. I'm just saying it's another case in which I's seem to be operating strangely. Does this work? Oh, I still don't know what this means. Destined for failure. I mean, if it were destined for failure, I could imagine it being doom. You're destined for failure. You're doomed. But I don't really know what this E at the end of... What does that mean? Is that just a common word that I'm somehow misunderstanding? Game measured by its number of points. Maybe this isn't zigzag after all. If this were an O, sharp bend. Oh, a dog leg. Sorry, it's not a zigzag. It's a dog leg. A sharp turn that sort of mimics the shape of a joint in a dog's leg. Sorry about that. What a waste of everyone's time. I apologize. So this is ooze after all, and perhaps this is ooh la la, which I thought a while back. Game measured by its number of points. Not a game that one plays, but rather a game animal, such as an elk in this case. And you could have I don't know how this is measured, but the size of these game animals I don't know if it's their antlers or what, but there's something that now that I've revealed my ignorance, someone will explain to me how the point value of a game animal is calculated. Anyway, all right, Southern Border City and a Larry McMurtry title. Now now I have to say, this does look like Laredo. So this actually does look like another case where the I is in the across clue. It's so strange. That's so funny. I actually don't think this was one of those cases up here, but it does seem like there is another case now where an I in a horizontal and in a cross clue seems wrong for the down. I mean, if this were Laredo, Texas, for instance, I don't know if this is a good answer with the text abbreviated like that, but let's just try it and see. French agreement, so maybe not. Maybe this is all nothing. I seem to be inventing ways to try and create a theme. None of them are right. French agreements could be oui's, yes, in French, pluralized. Horror Star Cheney, Lon Chaney. I should just be solving the crossword. What am I doing trying to figure out these things I don't understand yet? If I solve the entire rest of the crossword, the theme may well become obvious, or it will be baffling and I won't be in any worse a situation than I am now. So either way, it's either just as good or better if I just continue to solve the answers I can actually solve. How about that? Okay, unspecified ordinal, nth. So ordinal meaning in a series, first, second, third, fourth. It's indicating the position. So here we have blank Poovy, Gomer Pyle USMC character, Gomer Pyle US Marine Corps character. So this would have been an old television sitcom. But I've never seen it. I don't know this character's name. Could be a rank as well. Or a nickname for a rank. Strike, I don't know, could it be about maybe? I don't know about that. Sweet sign off. Love, I suppose. Strike, I don't know about that. What about this? 1982 film set in a mainframe, the science fiction film Tron, set inside a mainframe computer. And Blank Blues, song on the Beatles' White Album. That's Your Blues, spelled Y-E-R. Beatles song. Okay, this doesn't look like Laredo, Texas anyway. I didn't think it was after that point, even after I insisted that it must fit this arbitrary theme I've made up. Southern Border City and a Larry McMurtry title. It could be law something. I don't know. It's not hard to guess how this will end. Yes, I something. Sweet sign off. I mean, my first thought was XOXO to indicate kisses and hugs, but it doesn't really look. Oh, actually, maybe. No, sorry. I thought, well, this word wouldn't start with X, but actually, I think it might be X out, to strike something, to exit out on a, in a manuscript, something like that. Oh. Maybe this is Laredo, Texas. What? Oh, dot. Oh, is this the word dot? Laredo, Texas. Does that help me anywhere else? I don't understand how that has anything to do with this. Oh, yes, I do. A tipping point is a jar. Sorry, I've been wrong. This has been throwing me off for absolutely ages. A tipping point is a jar. You put your tip in the jar. I do think bar was a plausible fill there, absolutely. But I think in this case it's jar. And this again is dot. And so the dot is an I, but down it's a judo throw. And down the dot here is Laredo, Texas. But across it's an I, it's war, and C, Siorna. What does that mean? Dot and I. Is this sort of the counterpart of cross your T's last week? We have dot your I's. What does it mean? I mean, I think I figured it out finally, and that allows me to fill avocado toast. I'm thrilled and relieved. I must tell you here. Oops, not that cell. Avocado toast. There we go. And this will be an I. Letters of qualification. They could be ifs. You could qualify a remark and say, well, I think I've figured out this theme if I can come up with some kind of explanation as to why the crosses are I's. And so I've qualified the remark. I've qualified my remark about figuring out the theme. Shark species with the largest brain to body ratio. I'm not sure offhand. Some ER cases. Some emergency room cases. Well, it probably ends in an S because it says some, so it's plural. Sounds from a pond at night. They could be croaks of frogs. Does that work here? Key to a quick exit. Yeah, it could be the escape key on a keyboard. Although, to be fair, I don't really know that there are any common remaining cases in software in which the escape key actually takes you out of a piece of software. I mean, sometimes it brings up a menu that might allow you to leave the software, but it doesn't really allow you to make a quick exit. Maybe by quick, they mean the word itself is abbreviated. So it's sort of a cryptic clue. They're saying quick exit, in other words, a shortened form of the word exit. So escape, in other words, but a shortened form of that. I don't know, maybe. Probably, I'm definitely giving that more thought than it needs. Anyway, what is this? Pray for a heron. What would a heron prey on? A toad? Could we have toad and croaks right next to each other? I have no idea. Would a heron eat a toad? I don't know. I haven't a clue. 2003 cult film known as The Citizen Kane of Bad Movies with The Room by, what's the guy's name? Johnny, no. Oh, I don't remember his name. It's that film, The Room, that's sort of legendarily terrible. And then it was, Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau is the name of the filmmaker. And he, after it became ridiculed for being ridiculous, it was intended as sort of a dark psychological drama, and he rebranded it as a dark comedy because that it was received basically as an unintentional comedy, and he then sort of reframed it as an intentional comedy. And anyway, it's been playing on the midnight screening circuit for many, many years, and then James Franco made a film about it. Anyway. It's not hard to guess how this will end. So, is this one of these .I things? I can't tell. Maybe this one is. Maybe this one is. Yeah, I bet it is. Then this could be you'd something. Does that work? You'd other. It's not hard to guess. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't assume that. Luann Poovy, maybe. That actually, sorry, maybe this is right. Because Luann could be a name. So I have no idea if that's the character, but it seems plausible. It's the only name I can think of that would work with that U. So you do. It's not hard to guess how this will end. You do that. I don't know, sorry. Stop, start. Could be non. So sometimes when you get something like this with a question mark indicating a pun or a bit of wordplay, and then something like start or procedure or intro or that sort of thing, as with the actual, well, no, it's not the same as that intro earlier, but sometimes what that means is a prefix that could precede, I suppose, the word in question. So a prefix that works with start. In other words, that works with stop. So non-stop in this case. Stone with fire and water varieties. I think I've heard of a water opal and fire opal. So that I believe that's correct. Precious stone. Spotty pattern. Oh, polka dots. Is this our sort of, I guess this isn't our revealer, it's just another theme clue. But it's a theme clue that is maybe representing the theme? Or these are polka dots sprinkled throughout, but what does the I mean? I'm still not sure about that. Well, how about this? Oh, here is our revealer. Attend to detail. Oh, it is the thing I thought. Attend to details or a hint to entering 6 down answers in this puzzle. Cross one's eyes. No, sorry, dot one's eyes. Oh, goodness. No. Dot the eyes, maybe? So it is the, well, I might have this wrong, but I think I have the idea. I think I have the idea correct. It is the thing I thought. This is actually wonderful. It's a counterpart to last week's crossword, which had us crossing our T's. And in this last Thursday, it was, I think it must have been Thursday. It feels like a Thursday puzzle. Whereas now we're dotting our I's, or maybe it's dot our I's. Is it? Or dot the? I don't know. I would have assumed it to have been dot one's eyes to make it generic, but that doesn't fit in this particular set of cells, obviously. So very clever. That's wonderful. It's actually quite rare that we get sort of sequels to puzzles like this in this close proximity, but I really like this. That's incredibly charming. And what's interesting about it is that we know this is August Miller's debut crossword, so it's not as though. So I wonder what that means. I wonder if these were unrelated puzzles that were submitted, Will Shortz or someone at the New York Times noticed and decided that they would release them in successive weeks as this sort of counterparts of one another. I really enjoy that. That is absolutely great. Good week for New York Times puzzle themes, I must say. Okay, so to make a pick is to opt for something. Ish could be or so. Oh, shark species. Now this really looks like Mako, doesn't it? Letters of qualification. I don't know. Maybe there's another shark that I don't know. Maybe there's another shark I don't know. I'm going to leave those blank for the time being. I mean, I'm sure there are many sharks I don't know. Pray for a heron, underwater weapon launching apparatus, torpedo something. And I bet that DO in torpedo is part of a dot. Torpedo tube, there we go, in a submarine, for instance. And Denny's competitor, this is an I, don't forget, so IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, which we learned a little bit about last week, actually. Thanks to the crossword. It may turn slowly in a horror movie. What turns in a horror movie? Slowly. And here we have a pea as a legume. That's the type of vegetable. And a kind of block. You could have a Lego block. Lego brick. I believe the Lego Corporation prefers them to be called. Modifies could be amends, maybe, but let's check the crosses there. Oh, a knob may turn slowly in a horror movie. Sure, a doorknob may ominously turn slowly. That certainly happens. Travelocity spokes creature. Well, a creature looks like a gnome to me, so I suspect that is the answer. And if one is afraid to commit, say, that say means that there's some latitude here. It means we don't necessarily need to have this be a direct definition or synonym. We have a bit of legroom. Actor Bomer of Magic Mike, I'm not sure. Gets a ride in a way. So here's another in a way, sort of gives us some latitude. Ubers. In this case, Ubers is an example of how one might get a ride. Obviously, it doesn't literally mean get a ride. Lichen. So to compare something to something else. Applies as lotion, could be rubs on. And if something awaits a ruling, it pens. So await a ruling, penned. Trickles could be seeped, maybe, as in oozed, actually. Great Plains tribe, the Oto tribe, and lichen, and here we have locking mechanism, could be a hasp in a door, for instance. Oh, to liken something would be to equate it to something else. There we go. And here we have que es eso in Spanish. What is that, I would think. And what a pity. It looks like so sad. It's so sad, maybe? Oops, what if I spelled it correctly, though? How about that? That looks plausible. And down. Isn't that obvious? Could it be maybe C? That would suggest this is dot the eyes, actually, there. And afraid to commit. Oh. Success could be simply yes. I was wondering if dot the i's somehow has another one of these dot cells in it. I don't know. It feels something around here is not correct, clearly. It's not hard to guess how this will end. I'm sorry. This must be screamingly obvious to many of you, and I just don't see it. You'd, other. It's not hard to guess how this will end. I'm sorry. Maybe it's so sad is wrong. It seems like maybe it is. Afraid to commit, say. Gnome has got to be correct with a spokes creature ending in N-O-M-E. I mean, I just don't see what else that could possibly be. Me, pick me. Oh, maybe? Some of us are trying to watch the movie here. Okay, I should look at all the clues, shouldn't I? I always forget to do that. Look at all the clues. There might be some that are easier than other ones. So that would be shushing someone in a film, in a cinema. 65 Ford debuts. There was a model of Ford called the Ford Limited Ltd. Oh, what a pity. That's sad. Okay, that's sad. That looks better. And then, does that help here? You do the math. Okay. It's not hard to guess how this will end. You do the math. It's self-evident. Basically, it's what that means. This wasn't self-evident to me. This answer. Bird found in the mud. Wow. This is a cryptic clue. This is a 100% valid cryptic crossword clue. So, what this means is that the definition we're looking for is bird, and we're going to find it in the words the mud, and the bird name emu can be found inside the mud. So bird found in the mud would be an emu, I suspect. Oh, gun shy. Afraid to commit says gun shy. I didn't have that in mind at all. Oh, I didn't look at this. I never looked at this clue. That's irritating. Death of a salesman's surname. Lohman could have, Willie Lohman could have filled that in earlier. Okay, so what's left? We have this little area that was giving me some trouble, wasn't it? Pray for a heron. Maybe it is a toad. Letters of qualification. I really thought that was going to be ifs. That seemed quite plausible. To qualify a statement with an if. But I really think this is the shark name, like I said before. I really think it's... I'm pretty sure I've mispronounced this before, so I'm very sorry if I'm doing it again. Mako? I'm sorry. So this would be IM. Oh, IMO, in my opinion. Letters of qualification. I suppose that is more accurate than ifs, because ifs would be probably described as words, words of qualification, rather than letters of qualification. Letters implies something more like an initialism, an acronym, IMO in this case. And some, of course, in some of our cases are ODs, they're overdoses. And there it is, there's the puzzle. Wow, this was, wow, look at this. We've got this little animation on these cells. They're going from, the word dot is transforming into an I before our very eyes. Very clever theme today. And look at that, they really went above and beyond the Call of Duty with this little animation here. So thank you to Will Shorts and team for that flourish. And wow, that was quite... That eluded me for absolutely ages. It really did. How did I eventually figure that out? I think Si Siorna was the one that... I think Laredo, Texas might have been the first one that I actually filled in with the dot I. But I think Si Siorna was the one that made me quite confident something was going on with an I, because it just did not, it seemed like this must be the answer, but it didn't seem like the down made any sense at all with it. And the more I filled in, the less plausible it seemed. But then it took me absolutely ages, and then I started seeing phantoms. Essentially, I started inventing possibilities of where the theme could go. That was interesting. I wonder if that was in any way intentional. I could imagine one thinking sharp bend, dog leg, zigzag. I mean, how many synonyms are there that are 6 letters with a G, 2 G's in the same positions and have a fairly similar meaning? I mean, that's astonishing. Dog leg and zigzag. You could always imagine that somehow being part of a theme, although I think you'd struggle to find too many other examples that are comparable. But yeah, that really threw me off because I was wondering, is this somehow related? If this is zigzag, that eye doesn't work. Is there something around eyes? Yeah, that is absolutely fascinating and was totally confounding for ages until I figured out what was going on. Really clever puzzle, and I really like how it's a companion to it's the partner to our Cross the T's puzzle from last week. That's very nice. I don't know that I've seen that sort of thing before. I'm sure it's happened, but it's not common, and I think it's very clever. So I thought that was a great crossword. Let me know how you fared. I think this was a very difficult theme, I must say. I'd be curious to know how long it took people to catch on to what was going on here, because it certainly took me quite a while. So maybe I'm just justifying my own tardiness in figuring that out. But I am curious to know, because I think that was pretty tricky, I have to say. So let's discuss some clues from yesterday's puzzle. How about that? We have several. Sean Robinson explains that the Leftorium was the shop that only sold left-handed tools. That was apparently Ned Flanders, a business operated by Ned Flanders in The Simpsons. I don't think I've seen that episode. I don't know if that's a recurring gag or something, but that was new to me. So thank you, Sean Robinson. Any Prophet points out that Shel Silverstein, who I referred to as a children's poet, but I was wondering, was he really just a children's poet? And apparently, certainly not, because apparently he also, according to Any Prophet, and I did look this up and confirm it, Shel also drew comics and wrote poetry for Playboy magazine. So there you go. Quite a spectrum for Shel Silverstein. And Bradley informs me that Uncle Fester was from the Addams Family, not the Munsters. You mentioned both, but chose the wrong one. Whoops. The character was played by Jackie Coogan in the original TV series and Christopher Lloyd in the early 1990s films The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. I have seen a few episodes, probably, of each of the Munsters and the Addams Family. I don't know that I've ever seen any of the Addams Family films, so mea culpa. And Chasmart, here I can take some solace in this. Chasmart says, I wanted to point out that you were correct, that an air ball is utterly missing the basket in basketball and getting nothing but air. So look at that. Something sports related that I actually got correct. Unbelievable. And finally, related to the theme, the very clever sea creature misnomer theme, Rhett Boy has a rundown of the what were they, 5? The 5 different creatures who were the subject of yesterday's theme. Jellyfish aren't fish, they're cnidaria. Sure, I'm saying that poorly. Electric eels aren't eels, but they are fish. Knife fish, in fact. Mantis shrimp aren't mantises or shrimp. They're stomatopods. Sea cucumbers definitely are not cucumbers, they're echinoderms. But orca whales are actually whales, despite the widespread belief that they are sharks. And then there was some discussion about the orca whales thing. I think both in these comments, but also in the both in the here and also the I can't speak. I'm sorry. The Daily Self Discord chat server. Sorry, I'm trying to do this while I'm also reading clues, and I'm trying to find the clue I'm looking for that I could have the comment I'm looking for that I could have sworn I highlighted, but I guess I didn't. And here it is from Goose. Goose says, I always remember being told that orcas are actually dolphins, which turns out to be true. But it's the case that dolphins are also whales, if you consider that any animals taxonomically under the infraorder Cetacea, which is just Latin for whale, are whales. So there we have it. Orca whales are whales and are dolphins. And dolphins are whales. So that is absolutely taxonomically fascinating. So thank you to everybody who chimed in about that. There were a number of comments related to that topic, unsurprisingly, but those two I think summed up most of the information. And so that's that for today's puzzle, for the Thursday puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a tricky one, I would say, tricky theme. Certainly in contrast to some of our recent themes, which have been less mechanical in nature, I suppose, more flavor. This was absolutely a very mechanical theme that needed to be solved in order for the puzzle to make any sense whatsoever. And eventually it did, even though it took me a while. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you think you know someone who might enjoy this, pass it along to them. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the Patreon campaign. I do appreciate that. We're coming up on, so tomorrow I'll be doing another week of mini crossword speed solves for the Patreon campaign. I still need to solve the February monthly bonus puzzle from the New York Times, so I should do that tomorrow as well, actually, now that I think about it. Or Saturday, one of the two. But anyway, you can find all that in the description field underneath the video, various links under there. And I suppose that's it. I will be back tomorrow for a Friday puzzle. We are finally shedding our themes for a couple days. Themeless puzzle on Friday should be another tricky one. And I hope to see you there. Until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.